Yeah, that's another thing with like ADHD is like I have so many like interests and like hobbies and like things that I get into for like short amount of times or like long amount of times and then like forget about. Um, and I think
and do you fixate?
yeah, definitely. And I think when I first got here, I felt like somewhat of like imposter syndrome because a lot of people in this business this is what they wanted to do their entire lives. Like grew up watching it and all that stuff. And for me, I had like a million different things that I wanted to do, and I never had like this is my dream job. Like I did for like little bursts of time, but I also think it's like kind of cool that I've been able to like pick up things and kind of like excel at stuff and then like move on and like excel at this and then try this thing. So yeah, I think like ADHD it sucks, but it's also pretty cool.
Yeah, it can be a gift. I think that is the way you have to look at it, right? It's because like anything, we don't want to focus on the negatives of whatever it is, but like what are the positives? You know, and you've been able to do so many things. And don't have imposter syndrome. Like I've watched you. You're pretty phenomenal.
Thank you.
I mean, I've actually never seen anyone come in and be able to do the things that you do with such poise. Like you're not herky jerky. You don't hesitate. You're not, you know, like you're so graceful and you're so, like, you're very aware in the ring. I'm not sure here we go. Damn, there it is. Oh, and did we pull up the gymnastics?
Yeah, I think if you look up like Calyx Hampton bars, like level 9 bars, it might pop up.
Yeah, how'd you get your name too? I love your name.
My real name?
Yes.
So like I said, my mom wanted me to be a florist, and she had this perfume that was named Calyx, and she absolutely loved it. Googled the name, and it's the green part of a flower that holds the petals together. And so she was like, that's perfect. So yeah, that's where that came from.
That's beautiful. It is a beautiful name.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never heard it before.
Thanks.
It's so pretty.
Yeah. I know, I would have loved to keep it, but.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sol Ruka is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
And Sol, I imagine, because the sun.
Yeah.
Yes. And so what are some of the other like hobbies and interests that you've had?
So when I was really young, I really wanted to be Hannah Montana. So that was something that I was really interested in. It's kind of cool because now looking back, I'm like, everything that I wanted to do, like I'm doing now.
Yeah, no, it
like
leads
wrestling
you to
is
here.
like,
Yes,
and it's
yes.
really cool. I'm like, I wish I would have known about wrestling before, but whatever. Like I wanted to be a fashion designer for a really long time. There's a picture on my mom's Facebook where my dad was throwing away a pair of pants that he wasn't going to wear anymore. And I was like, give it to me.
I could do something with that.
And I made a whole dress with a little like bandana thingy, and my mom put me in her high heels, and I'm like in the hallway like posing with it.
So cute.
I ended up getting a sewing machine. I learned how to do like a square, and then moved on to the next thing, and never
looked back.
I wanted to be like an artist. I wanted to be a graphic designer. I wanted to be a chiropractor. I wanted to be a stunt double. And I feel like I'm doing all of that now.
Like
I make my own gear. Like
you do make your own gear.
I make my own gear. I've started making like my own like merch style shirts. Like I made this shirt. I've just kind of been doing everything that I wanted to do as a child and like brought it into this. And I think it's like really cool.
That's one of the coolest things about WWE. It really is, because and there's the performer side, right? And you're even through social media, like you're marketing, you're branding, you're creating your persona, you're trying new things, you're designing your own gear, your whole look, right? And what works and what doesn't work, and trying new things. And then from another perspective, you can learn production, you can learn all of these different facets, merchandise, live events, like all of these different things. And there's no limit on you as a performer. You can cross any boundary that you want.
Yeah.
And that's an exciting world.
Yeah, it's so freaking cool.
Even music.
Yeah.
And you can have influence in your own music. You can create your own music. You can do
it's
whatever.
So cool. It's so different from sports too, because sports you're like, you have to wear this, you have to do this, and this is your routine, and you have to show up like this and that and whatever. But here it's like, when I got here, I thought it was going to be the same thing. I thought they were going to be like, okay, this is your character, this is your name, this is what you wear, this is what you do. And then I got here, they're like, so what's your character? And I was like, You're asking me that question? Like, no one's ever asked me to like put input in my like performance. Like, it's really strange, but and it was really hard at first trying to figure out like
that's what I was wondering.
what works, what doesn't work, and like what resonates with me, or what's gonna like correlate on TV, or like are people gonna relate to this? And as much as that was like really hard, it was like really cool to be able to just be vulnerable with the fans and like try stuff. And then if it fails, it fails. If not, you know.
That's the beauty of NXT too.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things I think that people don't necessarily understand about our business, but like when you start here, our fans, the NXT fans, know that they are a part of the process of deciding like who makes it and who doesn't make it. You know, but they're also willing to give you multiple chances. You know, like they're along for the ride. They give you their real reaction, and they're invested in you. And then if you do then go on, which you already are, they're right there and they're with you for the entire journey.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
To have that kind of emotional connection with your audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everyone wants to be like, oh, I used to, you know, see them in NXT and now they're on like WrestleMania. Like everyone wants that. And I think I think NXT is really, really cool. And I think them bringing in athletes is really, really cool as well. I think it's giving a lot of us athletes that didn't have the option to go pro. Like there's no pro acro, there's no pro gymnastics. Like I see like a lot of athletes just going back to like normal jobs that they're not necessarily like in love with, because like there's really nothing else for them to do within like athletics and sports. But I think this has opened up like a whole new world for athletes to continue doing what they love and to continue performing.
Yeah, I agree. And are you familiar at all with the NIL program?
So I graduated right before that was like allowed. So I don't
so you
know
didn't get to participate.
too much. Yeah, I didn't get to participate, unfortunately. But
do you have a perspective on it?
I feel like I don't really know too much about the whole process in terms of like what it I guess like entails and stuff. But yeah, it just gives people the opportunity to be like scouted before they graduate, right?
Well, it depends on, you know, the usage, right?
Yeah,
like for WWE, yes, we're trying to recruit, you know. I think for, you know, a lot of other athletes, it's the opportunity to get paid, you know, and make a lot of money that they wouldn't ordinarily have made.
I think a lot of people that were in my like class are a bit butthurt about the whole situation.
Yes,
it's like, well, where's my compensation?
Right.
But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I do think it's cool for the athletes. I feel like I have seen a lot of posts about how much the like football guys are getting and whatnot. I'm like, is it really necessary for whatever? But I mean, good for them.
Not everybody can say that WWE slid into their DMs.
I know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
but yeah, I think what WWE is doing is really cool. Getting the athletes in here and, you know, having them on their radar just in case they do want to come and make this their reality. I think it is a nice way to have, like, for the athletes to have something to, like, look forward to have something in their back pocket.
Another option.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to continue.
Yeah.
We had the opportunity to interview Livy Dunn, and she's a big advocate for NIL, and her perspective that she told on the pod is especially for women. There's not, you know, and it's limited for men too, but there's a lot less professional sports opportunities for women out of school, and you know, to really make the most out of their NIL deals that they can, and you know, how to maximize their brand and you know, awareness and get as many followers as possible, and you know, all that stuff. So it is a big opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, for us, come on.
Yeah.
I keep trying to recruit Livy indirectly, but right? Team WWE.
Yeah.
Livy, if you're watching or listening.
You got this. You got this.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Soul, obviously you are one of the biggest stars on NXT. And for everyone out there, you can watch Soul and all of the other Unreal NXT superstars on the CW every Tuesday at 8/7 Central. Next day on the free CW app. Soul, what would you like your legacy in NXT to be?
I want my legacy to be all about showing people that you can literally do whatever you set your mind to. Being from my background, which I had no, prior wrestling experience to now being where I am today, I just want to show people that you can do that too. As long as you set your mind to it and you're not afraid to fail, you're not afraid to look a fool, you're not afraid to fall, that you just got to keep picking yourself back up and keep striving for what you want. And I hope that through my career, people can see that.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful answer. And
yes.
it's really on point with everything you were saying.
Sweet.
Just
Cool.
keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.